Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to Burnley versus Chelsea, my match preview here on the George Benson football channel. Before we get into anything like looking at the opposition, looking at what I think the Chelsea team's going to be, make sure you hit the subscribe button on the George Benson football channel. I uploaded another video earlier on today, which was my Premier League predictions for week number 10. I do match vlogs, I do 6 things we learned, like a match review kind of thing. If you're not subscribed, you're going to miss out. So make sure if you're not already, hit the button, hit the bell notifications if you really like the content. So, Burnley away. This is, if you think about football and the luxury that comes with the Champions League, you partner that with just like a couple of hours later, you go to Burnley. And I look at the forecast, we're not talking ridiculous numbers here. We're well away from August. We're quite a long way away from April, May, when it starts to get nice again. 6 degrees, and it's the coldest day in the foreseeable future, which is just brilliant. It's just exactly what you want. Gonna have to find one of my big jackets in the abundance of clothes just hanging out behind me here with a sleeping bag. Might even have to take that into the ground at this rate. It's exactly what you think about when you think about a Burnley away fixture. Under the lights, a little bit cold, probably a little bit of rain sprinkled in here and there as well. It's going to be a fun one. It's a bit of a mission. The journey is looking like, so I've got to go via Cambridge to pick up Kieran, who you guys will meet in a lot more detail in tomorrow's video before the match vlog. Got to go and get him from bloody Cambridge. I mean, why does he live so far away? So it's going to be a mission. It's going to be a fun match day vlog. Definitely stay tuned for that one tomorrow as well. How did Chelsea carry on what is an unbelievable run of form for this early in the tenure of Frank Lampard as our manager? Every time his press conferences come out, I still have to like pinch myself a little bit. The biggest legend in our club's history is our flipping manager. Not only that, but everyone is feeling so good. We're winning matches, we're playing good football, and it is a great time to be a Chelsea fan. As I've said multiple times in recent videos, how do we beat Burnley? Burnley offer a very different challenge to that of Ajax. Ajax are a very good footballing side, one of the best in Europe, and Burnley aren't quite at that level, but what they do offer as a threat is a very different style of football, which Chelsea are going to need to be on their A game in order to come away from Turf Moor with 3 points. So if we look at our opposition, there's not that many teams in the Premier League these days who play with 2 out-and-out strikers, whereas Burnley, they line up in a classic 4-4-2. At least they did the last time they played. They've got some great players in there. They've got Chris Wood, who was unlucky not to get 2 against Leicester. He scored in that one. There's also Ashley Barnes, who started the season very well, and he wasn't there for the game against Leicester City last week for Burnley because Jay Rodriguez started up front alongside Chris Wood. Jay Rodriguez can be a little bit of a menace on his day as well. So Burnley have got some good attacking players, but they're not always known for their attacking football. They're known for their rugged, physical style of football, which enables them to sometimes bully teams off the park. So let's just take the example of Jeff Hendrick in the middle for Burnley. He's a player who loves to have a go from range. He's a player who scores some important goals, and he's somebody who kind of links the play for Burnley going forward and also coming back. You've also got Robbie Brady in there, who we've seen him score a goal against Chelsea in his time. Nice little free kick, or not so nice if you're a Chelsea fan like me, which the majority of you guys are. Robbie Brady could cause Chelsea some issues as well. They got Ashley Westwood in there and also Dwight McNeil, who's a decent young English talent on the wings. So playing there with a 4 in the midfield, you move back. You got Ben Mee and James Tarkowski. If you look away from the Premier League's top 6, this is one of the best centre-back combinations in the Premier League, away from the big boys. So Burnley have got a very, very good team. They've got Nick Pope in goal, who's also very decent as a goalkeeper, England international. All across the pitch for Burnley, one of, probably in my opinion, one of the most underrated fullbacks in the Premier League is Eric Peters, Burnley's left back, who I've actually rated very highly for a couple of years now. So whenever you look across that Burnley team, you see good quality players, and with Sean Dyche as their manager, he's been the manager for a long time. It's a very, very well drilled Burnley side, and it's difficult to break down. And after the Champions League game against Ajax, where fitness is going to be a question in this one, and we'll go into my Chelsea lineup in a second. Chelsea are going to need to be on their A game for this one. So I've made a few changes to my Chelsea team based off of the team that we saw against Ajax, based off of these fitness worries that I just brought up there. We've got Kepa in goal, and as you can see along my back 4, No changes with the centre-back pairing. I think Zuma and Tomori, as a duo, are starting to really impress me, to be honest. We've got Rudiger out injured at the moment, and Zuma's performances have skyrocketed. Tomori has been class all season. It's very difficult to see where we're going to have to keep changing these players, because Rudiger and Christensen supposedly were the two strongest centre-backs for, according to the fans, at the beginning of the season. Now that Zuma and Tomori are part of a Chelsea side keeping clean sheets and also defending very, very well, they've got pace in there, strength in there as well. It's hard to see that changing at this moment in time. I've gone with Emerson at left back. His first start since the game against Liverpool, where we saw him go off injured. He didn't feature against Ajax. Some of us thought he would. And it's tough because Marcos Alonso's been so good since he came back in. And the reason I put Emerson in there is because obviously Alonso's been playing a lot of football. He played 90 minutes in the game against Ajax on Wednesday, which is a very, very tough physical fitness test for this whole Chelsea team. So I think with that in mind, it wasn't that long ago, Emerson can come in today at left back, get another start under his belt, and he's also quite solid defensively too. So against the Burnley team with two strikers who like to attack on the wings as well, Emerson could be very useful for us there, and then Reece James at right back. It will be his first start in the Premier League, and again, it's nothing to do with Azpilicueta's performances. I think his recent performances have been top class. He was absolutely brilliant, could have easily been man of the match for me in the game against Ajax on Wednesday. Obviously, I gave it to Zuma in the end as well, something a little bit different, but Azpilicueta, vintage display in the game against Ajax, but we've got to look at fitness, we've got to look at having the strongest team available to us every single game, not just based off of fitness, but in order for us to keep developing in all competitions. So Reece James, he's very quick, he's very good going forward, he's very strong, he brings a good balance to this Chelsea team, and if we're going to need to rely on our fullbacks to get us forward at some times, probably not going to be playing with wing backs, it's probably going to be definitely a flat back four, but Reece James can get forward. He can also get back and defend, and I think after the 90 minutes that Azpilicueta put in the Johan Cruyff Arena, I wouldn't mind seeing Reece James in there this weekend for his first Premier League start. What do you guys think about that? So we move into the pivot, and I've gone with Jorginho and Mateo Kovacic, and I'm going to circle Mateo Kovacic here because I think he could be the key player for Chelsea in this game. So far this season, the biggest improvement that I've seen from Kovacic is not just the way he wins the ball back in the middle, but it's how he interconnects things going forward. And I'll make a bold statement. I made a bold statement saying that Michy Batshuayi would come on and score the winner against Ajax. I'm just going to hold my hands up and say I did call it. Kovacic to get his first goal of the season against Burnley away at Turf Moor on Saturday evening. I'm calling it now. Kovacic, when he gets the ball, his first thought is to look up. It's to dribble, to get himself in a position to interconnect the play between those forward players and the striker, and also get Chelsea away from danger. Kovacic has been absolutely instrumental with that so far this season when he's been on the pitch. And then Jorginho. He's the brick wall at the moment in front of the defence for Chelsea. And as I say, every single time we do a 6 Things We Learn video, every time I do a match preview, Jorginho is the glue in this Chelsea team. He's the man that connects everything together. Kovacic's job is to then, when Jorginho wins the ball back, if it wasn't Kovacic who made the tackle, Kovacic's job is then to either dribble with it forward or offload it if Jorginho has to give him the ball. But the majority of the time, it is Jorginho who is the man who's receiving the pass from the defenders. Jorginho sits back as like the third centre-back when the full-backs go forward as well, or the wing-backs, depending on which formation we're playing, and then he can make the passes to start threading the balls forward. So Jorginho and Kovacic in the pivot is definitely the strongest option right now. N'Golo Kante is injured. He's well and truly injured now. Frank Lampard's not even saying when he expects him to be back, and he's alluded in his press conference today that it might be quite some time until we can regularly see N'Golo Kante playing 90 minutes for Chelsea. He's played a lot of football since he got into the Premier League. He's played a lot of football not only for Chelsea and Leicester, but also for France. And that injury that he had in the Europa League final is currently the injury that is seeing Kante keep picking up these little niggles, which is keeping him out of the Chelsea team. The good news on this, which there's very rarely any good news when you take N'Golo Kante out of a team, the good news is Kovacic and Jorginho have been performing so well that at the moment, we're not necessarily missing Kante every single game. Bearing that in mind though, if we keep an eye on Kovacic as the important figure in the Chelsea midfield for this game, we're going to need to do a lot of hard work in the middle of the park to control the game, Similarly to what we did against Newcastle, I said that the way we controlled the middle was the key to getting the win against Newcastle. It will be very similar here against Burnley because they're a tough team to break down. If you look at defensive-minded sides in the Premier League, Newcastle and Burnley are the two that you'd pick out. So I think that this is going to be a tough test in the middle for Chelsea, but those two are going to do more than enough. So it gets very interesting as well when we move forward to take a look at the forward four attacking players. Three behind Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham does start for me. We'll focus on him first. Michy Batshuayi obviously came on. I don't think it was Tammy's best game that he played against Ajax, but again, I think we don't just see goals from Tammy Abraham to consider him having a good game. I think he was a bit of a nuisance for their back line, but I don't think he got involved as much as he'd like to. Michy came on and, well, he won us the game, so he deserves all the credit in the world, but I wouldn't take Tammy Abraham out of the starting 11 just because of that goal. He's still the joint top goal scorer in the Premier League, and for me, he starts every game for us at the moment. Despite not having his best game against Ajax, I think Willian will continue to play for Chelsea, this time on the right-hand side with Mason Mount in the middle. And the big question is, does Christian Pulisic get a start in this game against Burnley? It could be considered one of the worst times to give Pulisic a start because of that physical nature of the way Burnley like to play. They're very aggressive, and the big talking point so far this season from Pulisic is, will he be able to cut it against those aggressive teams? However, taking into account that Callum Hudson-Odoi played 90 minutes, he only came off for Reece James in like the dying embers of the game against Burnley, considering that Hudson-Odoi played so many minutes, and if we put it into this three key things that I think we're learning from Frank Lampard's Chelsea so far, and the reason we're going to win more games going forward is Frank's pragmatism and his ability to understand that we need to ease players in, ease players out in order to make the best of what we've got. And considering how good his performances have been and the impact that Pulisic has had off the bench, I would give him the start for fitness reasons and for deserved reasons in this game. Hudson-Odoi has been absolutely brilliant since he came back. I don't think he had his best game against Ajax, and I'm not just seeing that Hudson-Odoi didn't have his best game and then Pulisic changed the game, so Pulisic over Hudson-Odoi. It's not that really that I'm factoring into my decision, it's the fitness and going to Ajax and being away from home and having that kind of intensity of football match, then going to Burnley, which is a whole different story, but in itself an extremely difficult, tricky game. I think that Pulisic has done more than enough to deserve the start, and I would start him in this one. And then if you look at what Pulisic has done off the bench, Hudson-Odoi can be the exact same player that Pulisic has been in recent games, where he can come off the bench if we're chasing the game to get us the goal, to get that creativity, to take players on, make the final pass, to get Chelsea in on goal. I know that not everyone will agree with taking Hudson-Odoi out the starting 11, but if you look at what I've written on the screen here with three key reasons why I think Frank Lampard will keep Chelsea winning games and will keep going with this run of form, the pragmatism that Frank Lampard has shown as manager, his ability to make very well-timed substitutions, to understand the strength and depth that we've got in this squad, even with the transfer ban. I'm fully confident that not only do I have the confidence in that 11 that I've got on the screen right now, but I know that Frank Lampard does as well. We know that we've got players that we can rely on the bench. We know that we've got quality all over the field. And I think that this 11 away at Burnley will have more than enough to win us the game. It's definitely this understanding that because we've got so many talented players, be it the young ones, the experienced ones, the players that you could say are key to Chelsea performing, your likes of Jorginho's, your Kovacic's, you can say right now that there's not really anybody, be it in the defence or the attack, who's a guaranteed starter for Chelsea. Got Ruben Loftus-Cheek knocking on the door, coming back from injury. You've got Hudson-Odoi, who's now back from injury, playing 90 minutes. He looks like he's fully fit and he's kicking it off for us now. Pulisic delivering off the bench. Batshuayi delivering off the bench. There is so much strength in depth in this Chelsea team. And I think that everyone who plays is playing to not only win the game for Chelsea there and then. My voice is going already. This is going to be a nightmare weekend. Oh my God, this is getting embarrassing. They're playing for a spot in the next game because nobody is guaranteed a start with this Frank Lampard Chelsea team. Frank's not afraid to change things. He's not afraid to make what some would consider risky decisions to start certain players in certain positions, but so far so good. Everything's working out for Frank. 6 wins from 6. Burnley away, looking to make it 7. If you didn't watch my Premier League predictions video earlier, I actually said that we'd win 3-1 away at Burnley. I'm going to stick with that prediction here in the match preview. Let me know your thoughts on who you would start in the comments down below, and what do you think are the key things in order for Chelsea to continue their great form and get the 7th win on the spin against Burnley tomorrow night before Man United in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. Is Frank going to be looking ahead to that one? Even though the Premier League is obviously the most important, will he have an eye on that game as well in terms of who starts and who doesn't start for this game against Burnley? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So yeah, that is it from me. It's been a very, very long week. I hope we can go up to Burnley tomorrow and get the win. If we do, this will go down as one of my favourite weeks as a Chelsea fan in a very long time. It's been amazing. Thank you guys for all of the support on the channel. You guys have been amazing with the likes on the videos recently. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button. I just want to say a massive thank you as well to everybody who comments on all of these videos every single day. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the support. I will see you tomorrow morning for the first episode of a brand new Chelsea podcast, and then a match vlog tomorrow night against Burnley. Come on, you Blues. See you all there.